Child Care Video Magazine is an activity of the California Department of Education, Child Development Division, and Far West Laboratory, Center for Child and Family Studies. In infancy, as in all of life, there are stages of development. But infants grow so rapidly that sometimes we don't even notice when they've moved from one stage to the next. Each stage has its own challenges, which bring special meaning to that period of life. Warmth and caring. Young infants thrive on a close relationship with a caregiver. Their primary issue is security. Discovery and movement. Mobile infants seem to get into everything in a quest to learn about the world. Their major focus is exploration. Independence and control. Older infants are consumed with who they are and who's in charge. Their main concern is identity. Security, exploration, and identity are evolving in every child under 3, but they receive different emphasis at each stage. Security is the young infant's major concern. His feelings about security influence his exploration and become part of his identity. Exploration takes center stage as the child becomes more mobile. He begins to identify himself as an explorer and ventures out more when he feels secure. Identity grows and demands expression in a child around 2. Her sense of security is increasingly based within herself. She continues to explore, but with more purpose. The key to caring for young, mobile, and older infants is being able to adapt to the primary issue of each stage without losing sight of the 2 other issues. Children need help with these issues. What are some things you could do to help these young infants feel more secure? How might you assist these mobile infants with their exploration? In what ways could you support this older infant's developing sense of self?
Okay, I'm closing the cupboard right now.
Let's search for answers to these and other questions by taking a closer look at the 3 ages of infancy. Young infants need to feel that they're secure, to know that they're being taken care of. They really want to have a relationship with you.
Yeah. You trying to say hi?
As caregiver of the very young infant, the best thing you can do is help that baby feel secure. You are fascinating to infants. The way you look, how you touch, the way you talk. They really want to get to know you. When given consistent warm care, mainly by one caregiver, a child will feel more secure. Having a primary caregiver is especially important to young infants. No matter what the activity, for young infants, it is all at once a social, emotional, physical, and intellectual experience. By being sensitive and open to this, you can help them flourish.
Let's put your suit on so you'll be warm. You gonna be warm? You wanna be warm?
Young infants can be content by themselves for a while, but they need someone to come promptly when they feel distressed. Learning that they will be provided for when in need helps build their growing sense of security. But providing security alone is not enough. Even before they can move about on their own, infants like to explore. They are fascinated with the sight, taste, sound, and feel of almost everything you bring to them.
Look at those.
Young infants can't go places on their own. They need someone they can trust to take them to new things.
You want to touch the tree? Ooh,
This 5-month-old feels free to reach out to the world around her.
There's some.
At the same time, young infants can't take too much stimulation. They can be easily overwhelmed by light, noise, color, or attention from others. Turning his head away or fussing may be an infant's way of saying he's getting overstimulated. Young infants are learning what to expect from life, how their bodies work, whether the environment is a safe and peaceful place, and whether they can depend on others to protect and care for them. They need closeness, reassurance, and comfort to strengthen their sense of security. Here are the most important ways you can help young infants. Create opportunities for close contact. Assign a primary caregiver. Be available and respond promptly. Bring things of interest to the infant. Take the infant to interesting things. Avoid overstimulation. Sometime around 6 to 9 months, a secure baby's urge to explore the environment begins to get the best of him. Mobile infants are captivated by their growing ability to move. Their world is expanding, and discovery of that world takes center stage.
There you go.
Increased mobility is your cue to modify your style of care. Your role is to provide a secure base of support from which the children can go out and explore. At first, they'll enjoy exploring the environment nearby, keeping in close contact with you. As they move out, you can provide support and encouragement with your eyes, your voice, and your gestures. This works best if you're down on the floor with them. The environment should be enticing, interesting, and safe. As infants get more mobile, they'll see something they want and get there any way they can. Mobile children are into everything, following their natural urge to explore. Under your warm and watchful eye, they'll develop feelings of confidence and competence. They'll start to see themselves as doers. Mobile infants seek out new experiences. They need you to set up places for them to crawl, to pull themselves up, to cruise, to climb. These infants use every part of their body to explore. They love to practice their new skills. They may go off on their own, but they still need you to be available. For reassurance.
There she goes.
For encouragement.
There's Seniors. There's Seniors.
And for interaction.
You baby. Yeah.
The exploring mobile infant often has to decide whether to take a risk or not. Is this dangerous? Children of this age look to the caregiver for cues. Your response gives a go-ahead or a warning. A smile from a distance, a reassuring glance says to the child, "You can do it." Exploration is not only related to large muscle activities. The mobile infant explores in different ways throughout the day, even during routines. Mobile infants like to handle their food and utensils and try to feed themselves. This should be encouraged. They are learning to do things on their own. This is not the time for you to worry about mess. Too much is happening. Eating is chock full of learning and social experiences. As the mobile child grows older, he plays with his new skills, celebrates them. Still relying on the caregiver's support, he engages her for his own purposes, to make happen what he wants to happen. As he does this, he becomes more and more his own person, establishing his identity. Let's review the ways to support the growth of the mobile infant. Provide a secure base of support for exploration. Make the environment safe and interesting. Create challenging movement opportunities. Get down on the child's level. Allow children to try things out on their own. Share the joy of the child's growing competence. Sometime around 16 months, the experienced explorer becomes more independent. Older infants take charge by choosing for themselves what to do and by trying out their ever-expanding abilities. Older infants are developing a heightened sense of identity, a social self. And an independent self. They like group play and are more willing to be at greater distances from the caregiver. They are experiencing the power of being their own person. Children of this age are almost consumed by the desire for self-assertion. Marcus is saying, "I want, me, mine."
What is that? What is it?
Is it pretty?
Louise, the caregiver, is doing two things at once: supporting individuality and introducing social guidelines. True to his age, Marcus is resistant.
Okay, can Christian play with it too?
One easy way to resist is to say no.
Would you like me to help you?
Help you?
I will help you.
No.
No, okay.
Through resistance, older infants are attempting to establish their own identity. They are looking for a little control over what happens to them. Don't take it personally.
Icky, how about a hat for you? How about a cowboy hat?
No.
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 Okay, well, then let's just go potty.
You'll hear a lot of no's at this stage of development.
Daddy wants you.
It can be very frustrating. But trying to change the child's mind will seldom work.
Ashley wants you to be dry. Okay. You want to go play? Should I go to the park?
Taking resistance too seriously will often make things worse. Sometimes a playful response from the caregiver works better.
Can we wash your hands now? Are you ready?
No.
Yes, you're ready. Oh, I'll go with you. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
What are you pointing at? This hat? Cowboy hat?
Remember how Icky said no to the cowboy hat?
Okay.
He wants it now. For Icky, what was most important was making the choice on his own.
Well, this hat is coming apart.
For older infants, a well-set-up environment gives children a chance to be in control. If there are books, areas for independent activity and social play, small muscle toys, and a selection of materials for fantasy play and creative expression, the children will feel they have choices, and you'll be supporting the development of their individuality.
¿Está grandote? Sí. ¿Y te gusta el gatito?
That development will also be supported by the things you initiate and show an interest in. They will be very attractive to the children.
Mira el gatito. ¿Dónde está el gatito? Aquí.
Here, Ava balances leading the activity with responding to the interests of the children.
Mira otro. Otro gatito, mira qué bonito.
She's created an exciting social experience.
Oh. Mira. A ver. Mira. Mira qué bonito. Ring around the rosy apocalypse.
As interest in social interaction increases, so will enjoyment of group games.
We all fall down.
Icky, are you taking a picture of us? But Icky was taking a picture of us. Say cheese.
Older infants are also fascinated with fantasy and make-believe.
Let's see. Who would like to wear this cape? I think
A
that's
collection of dress-up clothes will help to engage their creativity.
This one? Would you like to try this one on? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put it right behind you. Oh, okay. And right behind you.
No.
Super Ann. Look in the mirror. Did you see yourself? Did you see your cape? Hey, that looks good.
You can provide a special gift by becoming part of a child's developing sense of make-believe.
This is my apple juice. You want me to drink it? Yeah? Oh, vitamin. Okay, let me have my vitamin. You want me to drink my vitamin? No? You want me to eat it?
Outdoor settings are gifts too. They offer a rich variety of experiences. Set things so that older infants can explore on their own. Independent play helps build competence, confidence, and a sense of self. But playing alone is just one interest. These children love playing together, too. Provide equipment that encourages social play and fosters cooperation. Group identity is developing hand in hand with self-identity.
Yay, bravo, Alex! Vente, Alex! Bravo!
In addition to setting things up, the caregiver also needs to assist. Although more and more capable on their own, these children now and then need the caregiver to get into the act. They often love it when you join them in play. Don't let their growing sense of independence keep you away. They'll let you know if they don't want you there. Remember that initiating activities is also appropriate. Introduce them to the fascinating world around them. Older infants are clearly different from young and mobile infants. They are more socially competent. Their thinking is more abstract. And they're acting more independently. In caring for older infants, respect self-assertion and be patient with no-saying. Provide social guidelines. Offer plenty of choices. Support fantasy and creative expression. Allow for both independent and social experience. Assist children in their play. Initiate new and exciting activities. We have presented the abilities and needs of young, mobile, and older infants. Sometimes they're cared for separately, but they're often cared for in mixed age groups. When providing mixed-age care, special attention must still be given to the needs of each age group. Whether you work with a mixed-age group of children or children very close in age, shifting the type of care you provide based on the stage of growth each child is going through is important. With a very young infant, your care should emphasize security, being physically there for the child. With a mobile infant, the way you provide security changes. You can become a secure base in a safe and interesting environment, so the child can choose to leave the security and confidently explore the new, expanding world. For the older infant, by providing choices, by setting limits, and by helping the child experience both the freedom and responsibility of independent action, you are helping the child to move from dependence on you to dependence on self. The Ages of Infancy is one of a series of 12 videos comprising Child Care Video Magazine, a component of the program for infant-toddler caregivers. For information on this comprehensive training program, which includes both videos and print materials, write to the California State Department of Education, Bureau of Publications, Sales Unit, P.O. Box 271, Sacramento, California,